They kill themselves with these, you know.
Yeah.
Messy old business it is.
Messy?
Oh, terrible. I mean, all your, you know, everything all over the place. Takes ages to clear up. Still, it's noble, isn't it? I mean, you know, it's noble. Noble to stick a dirty great sword right up.
Yes, all right.
This is the third episode of the anthology TV show 6 Dates with Barker. First broadcast in 1971, the series saw comedian Ronnie Barker starring in a comedic play, each week set in a different time and place, and featuring the writing talents of John Cleese and Spike Milligan amongst others.
Well, that's another week over then.
Yes. Doing anything this weekend?
No, I don't suppose so. Staying at home. There'll be the odd job to do, I expect.
The episode titled The Odd Job is going to be the focus of this video. Filmed in black and white because there was a union strike for colour camera operators at the time, it sees Ronnie Barker play Arthur Harriman, a try-hard but rather boring individual. When his wife walks out of him, he threatens her off himself, but being as incompetent as he is, he fails. That's when an odd job man comes knocking on Arthur's door, looking for work.
Any odd jobs? Odd jobs?
No, not today, thank you, no.
Oh, rightio.
Oh,
Have you got an odd job?
yes. Come in, would you?
Rightio.
Arthur hires the odd job man to put him out of his misery, and it's agreed that it should happen when he's least expecting it.
You just leave it to me, and then when you're least expecting it...
Yes, that sounds reasonable, yes.
Think naught of it.
Right. Thanks very much.
Right.
Well, I suppose we...
That's when Arthur's wife returns. She realised how foolish he had been, and all is forgiven, and a little too much has been forgotten. With the odd job man out of sight, the murder plot has slipped Arthur's mind. And what follows is a series of near misses with death until he can catch up with a hired hand and tell him he's changed his mind. The plan is called off and the odd job man leaves, but he forgets his gun behind him. Arthur picks it up and runs to the balcony, which unbeknownst to him has been set up to collapse by the odd job man and...
Get off the balcony!
What?
I said, get off the balcony!
American viewers may not know the stars, though in the UK they are both considered to be national treasures. They're best known from their long-running sitcoms. David Jason played Dell in Only Fools and Horses, and Ronnie Barker played Fletcher in Porridge. But they would also star in a show together set in a corner shop called Open All Hours. All three of these shows have been repeated to death on British TV, but not this one for some reason. It can't be because it isn't funny, because it is very funny, and because it runs a mere commercial half hour, which is 24 minutes including credits, it moves at a real pace.
This is it, isn't it? It's, you know, it's your funeral, isn't it? If it were me, I would... Hey! Aha!
No, I've tried that. You can't pull it out of it.
Now, you Japs, they use this to commit suicide with. Yeah, they call it Harry, Krishna. Oh, it's a right messy old business. All your bowels and your intestines, liver, stomach and all its contents go all over the place. Makes a right mess of the carpet. That's Persian, isn't it?
No idea.
In 1978, a movie adaptation was released, penned by the original writer Bernard McKenna and its new star, Graham Chapman, who takes the Ronnie Barker role.
You can't just leave like this.
Yes, I can.
You can, but I love you.
I don't love you.
Not the best basis for a marriage, granted. But you must see something in me.
No, I mustn't.
Why not? There's someone else, isn't there?
Yes.
Don't deny it.
I'm not.
You mean there is someone else?
Yes!
The plot is pretty much the same as the original television play. Arthur's wife leaves him, though here it's for another man, and Arthur tries and fails to off himself. That's when an odd job man appears.
Got any odd jobs?
What?
Got any odd jobs?
No. Oh,
Have you got an odd job?
No, but there might be something you can do for me.
Arthur hires him to flick the switch on his homemade electric chair in exchange for a colour television set.
Televisions. Well, I don't know about that.
Well, it's got one of these with it. You can play all sorts of games like football and tennis, squash.
Hey!
Oh, yeah. I like that.
I'll have it.
Well, I'll give you a hand to take it downstairs.
Righty-ho. Oh, hold on. No. Hold it. Hold it. This way. Hang on. Tell you what, I'll kill you first. Oh, no. Then it'd be murder.
What?
Murder. Trying to get this downstairs on my own.
Arthur's wife returns and his desire to die evaporates. He tries his best to avoid the odd job man and not alert his wife to the man who is trying to kill him, resulting in several near misses.
What's this all about?
What the sergeant is trying to say is that your brakes and steering were tampered, and therefore it is just a possibility.
That somebody is trying to kill you.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Arthur eventually catches up to the odd job man and calls the whole thing off.
Goodbye, Mr. Harris. Oh, no, wait a minute, he's gone. It's not me, it's him. He doesn't want you to kill him.
I've changed my mind. I want to live.
Now's the fine time to tell me you're there. Be careful. It's loaded. I want to live and all.
The odd job man stands down and takes his leave.
You forgot your gun.
Eh? You left something behind.
You are.
You left something behind.
Oh, my God, I forgot to tell them about the balcony.
Hey, don't lean on the balcony. I've sabotaged the balcony.
What?
Don't lean on the balcony.
Forgot your...
No!
This film does a pretty good job of expanding a 24-minute play into a feature movie. Every character has a bit more depth apart from maybe the odd job man, but the less you know about him the better. The introduction of the police officers and the wife's other lover flesh out the story without it feeling too much like padding. Graham Chapman's take on Arthur is very different to Ronnie Barker's interpretation of the role, and because I saw this version before the original, I've never felt compelled to compare them. I know the original writer, Bernard McKenna, was disappointed with Chapman's performance and also found him difficult to write with, but he's in good company with such complaints.
He wasn't a sort of ugly drunk. He was quite jovial and quite prone to trouser dropping and various outrageous songs. And I never had a problem with him at all, except in the work context, because, you know, you'd meet about 10:30 in the morning and Graham would be putting tonic into whatever it was. And you'd have a real burst of an hour and a half. And he was fizzing and popping, and it was a joy writing with him. And then, 12 noon, ooh, just the one, and we go to the Angel pub in Highgate, and goodbye day, that was it. Very pleasant afternoon, but no work taking place.
When we were doing the shows, it was a little bit of a nightmare because, if it was after lunch, it was hopeless doing with Graham, because Graham couldn't remember his lines.
I remember going once up to Scotland for a take. We were filming up in Glencoe, and I got there and I met the special effects man on the train, got shit-faced, and we were drunk, and I slept all day the next day, and I got up, and they still hadn't done the first take of Graham with Lake Tahoe. They'd done 43 slates.
Sometimes it would be quite funny, and other times it would just be... he'd just irritate people for the sake of it.
Just let me get this. You're going to sit over there on that chair. And I'm going to... You could get killed.
Yes, I could.
You want to get killed?
Yes.
And I'm to do it?
Please.
Believe it or not, David Jason was not originally supposed to reprise the role of the odd job man. That was supposed to go to the notorious Hellraiser and drummer of The Who, Keith Moon, who's never really been known as an actor but has had some interesting cameos.
Wardrobe! Come on in, ladies! What the devil do you think you're doing? Pick that dress up!
Sorry, sir.
Marlo, you're looking even more magnificent than usual. Wait till you see what Roger has created for you.
Lovely, lovely.
The pink, you silly. Wild silk. Wild silk.
Beautiful.
Wild silk.
How long is this going to take?
How long will it take you to undress?
Oh, you're looking at the world's champion.
That was a clip from a film called Sextet, which apparently was based on a play by Mae West. I haven't seen more than a couple of clips, but I'll be sure to hunt it down as it looks bonkers. Anyway, this is the English-Hungarian director of The Odd Job, Peter Medak, talking about Keith Moon's casting.
And then I told Graham, I don't think it's really going to work, and I said, please do me a favor, just read him for the role. And then I had this reading for him, and then it was just terrible, and it was no good, And then Graham said to me again, he said, look, give him another chance, and I then went to see him in a hospital in St. John's Wood when he was recovering from alcoholism or something, or drug abuse or something. And he was lying in bed, and then he said, I hope you don't mind, but I asked a friend of mine to come and help to read the other part with me. And it was Marianne Faithfull who turned up, and Marianne read the woman role, and Keith read the guy's role, But then it just didn't, it was hopeless, I mean, not hopeless. I mean, he was brilliant, but I mean, he didn't have that acting experience and all that, and it needed a very highly skilled comedian. And I would have been insane not to want to make the film with David Jason, because David Jason was absolutely phenomenal in it,
Peter Medak might seem like a strange choice to direct now, as he's more well known for the crime films The Craze and Romeo is Bleeding, both of which are pretty good, by the way. But in 1972, Medak directed the black comedy The Ruling Class, which got Peter O'Toole a Best Actor Oscar nomination. Medak followed that film up with A Day in the Death of Joe Egg, another black comedy. After that, he was hired to direct the disastrous Peter Sellers pirate comedy Ghost of Noonday Sun, on the set of which this star was particularly difficult, and the film was later deemed unfit to release. This is all documented in Medak's latest film The Ghost of Peter Sellers, which I recommend to anyone who wishes to make movies. Anyway, after that film's failure, by his own admission his career was floundering, and he accepted The Odd Job to keep working.
There's something about this business that smells, and it isn't hydrocyanic acid.
Did you read that somewhere, Mull, or did you just make it up?
No, I just made it up, sir. Just a suggestion, sir, and shoot me down in flames if I'm wrong.
Sorry, Sergeant.
But do you think we should keep a close watch on this Harris bloke?
Do I what?
Well, not so much a close watch, more as a trying to keep in some form, trying to keep, well, something.
Sergeant Mull.
Yes.
I want you to watch Harris so close that if he so much as farts, I want to know about it.
Medak does a pretty solid job behind the camera, but nothing fancy. The comedy plays well, but there isn't much in the way of visual style, at least not that you can see from this pan-scan VHS rip. You see, this film has never had a DVD or Blu-ray release, and it's not currently streaming in HD on any platforms. The only place I could find it, seeing I neither have the VHS or its player anymore, is on YouTube, which is something of a shame, seeing it is one of only 4 theatrically released live-action movies that David Jason ever appeared in.
How long have I got?
It's really very difficult to say.
This is the American remake, titled The End, directed and starring Burt Reynolds. It takes the story in a different direction. Sonny Lawson is a terminally ill real estate agent and given a maximum of a year to live, though that figure keeps changing. So he goes to a priest to confess a load of sins. Then he calls into a hospital and asks where they keep their terminally ill cases, but ends up only making a phone call. Next thing we know, Sonny is in a bar with a friend.
I've got to talk to somebody, so I'm going to talk to you.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about dying.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means lying in the ground with dirt on your face and holding your breath forever.
I know what dying means, but what's this got to do with you?
It's got everything to do with me. I'm going to die. My doctor told me.
He breaks the news to his girlfriend, who doesn't take it well, but Sonny still convinces her to sleep with him, possibly for the last time.
There was a moment there, when you kind of arched your back and you kind of let out a little sigh. I thought maybe you reached an orgasm then.
He visits his ex-wife, who has a new boyfriend, and then visits his parents in order to steal enough sleeping pills from his mother to off himself.
How's the art world?
What?
I said, how's the art world?
Boring, boring. What the hell else are you going to do when you're past 70? Sit around and watch your hands turn brown?
Sonny visits his daughter and takes her to a miniature golf course and tries to have a father-daughter chat.
I don't understand what you're trying to say.
Later that night, he swallows the pills procured from his mother and wakes up in a psychiatric hospital with Dom DeLuise by his side.
You a doctor?
Oh, no. Me? No. I'm a patient. Marlon Joseph Barranchi, paranoid schizophrenic. Deep feelings of inferiority, alternating with delusions of grandeur. Hi.
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 Sonny Lawson.
An orderly bursts in and tries to restrain Marlon, and Sonny tries to crush his own head in the hydraulics of the bed. Sonny begs his visiting wife and friend to get him out of the institute, but they think he's in the best place.
It's all right. I don't want to calm down. I don't want to calm down. God knows I've only got a couple more days to live.
Sonny goes to see a doctor who promptly dies and then catches up with Marlon in the gardens. Sonny enlists him to assist with his demise.
I always thought jumping out a window would be completely painless, you know, until you landed. Then it would be very painful.
One thing about it, you couldn't change your mind once you started.
No. Geronimo!
Except all the windows around here got bars on them.
Yeah, they all have bars except the tower.
The tower?
Hmm.
Where's the tower?
Marlon takes Sonny to the top of a tower and encourages him to throw himself off. But Sonny worries the fall is not large enough to finish him.
You're right, Sonny! It's not high enough!
Marlon attempts to help Sonny hang himself.
What? No, wait a minute. It's very simple. I just step out from under you and you'll be hung. Don't you understand? What? Yeah, you want a horse? Is that what you said? I said a horse. A horse, a Pollock. What's the difference? It's the same thing. You want a horse? You got a horse. Okay, just a minute now. You'll be hung in a moment. Okay, here you go. Okay, say goodbye to Marlon. So long. Oh, how are you feeling? Is that okay?
After another failure, Sonny decides that this is something he needs to do himself and breaks out of the institute in a stolen truck.
Holy shit!
He visits his girlfriend and finds his gun.
I'm gonna call the police.
Don't touch that phone. I'll shoot. Myself.
Sonny drives to the coast and swims out to sea, and suddenly he gets the desire to live.
I want to live! I want to live!
But Marlon is still insistent on helping Sonny to die.
I don't want to die! Do you understand me? You gotta stop trying to kill me! Do you understand me? I don't think you do. I do. The doctor was right about me. That's why I couldn't do it. Because I really don't want to die. But what about your fears and your pain? I promised to help you end all that. Will you forget about that? I don't think it's in your best interest. I don't care what you think.
And then the film ends with this sped up running away from camera nonsense. I understand why they made the changes. For starters, you don't really get odd job men in America. You don't really get them in the UK anymore, but at the time the first two versions were made you did. So I understand them wanting to change their hired hand to something else, but the comic relief loony feels very much in bad taste. Not that Dom and Burt don't have good chemistry. They do, it's just utilised better in other movies.
I saw Garface, and he was choking me. He was grabbing my neck, and I said, "Oh, hi, Charlie."
Hi.
Oh, Charlie! I said, "Oh, you're a ghost!"
Also, changing the main character, who in the prior two versions were men who were just a bit pathetic and couldn't cope without their wives, to a man who was very successful, particularly with the ladies, but terminally ill, takes a lot of the humour out of the film for me. I don't begrudge anyone with an incurable illness setting their own deadline. But ending everything because your wife left you? Yeah, be upset, mope about a bit, feel sorry for yourself, but then get over it. There are people with terminal illnesses out there. The first act is incredibly slow. In the Graham Chapman film, the odd job man comes in at the end of the first act, about 25 minutes in. Here, Dom DeLuise appears about halfway through the film, and the assisted dying pact happens at the end of the third act, about an hour in, by which time I was already off board.
Oh, Mary Ellen, the least you could do for a dying man is come.
Oh, Sonny.
Well, you don't let go, Mary Ellen. You just won't release. You've told me that yourself.
Oh, please, Sonny. I mean, what can I do?
You could do what any decent woman would do. You could lie to me.
Considering the subject matter, I should, in theory, be saying this about all three versions, but I find the Burt Reynolds version crass. I'm not easily offended, so I must be saying that because it didn't amuse. So its attempted bad taste humour came off as just plain bad taste. Comedy is, of course, subjective, so there may be somebody out there who thinks this is the best thing ever made, but alas, that is not me. Where the other two versions amused, this one didn't. The only thing to raise a smile, Dom DeLuise, appears too late, and the narrative drive arrives even later, which is a real disappointment, as Burt Reynolds knows how to play comedy. It just doesn't seem like he knows how to direct it.
You shouldn't have listened to me. Out of the mouths of Polacks, oft times comes caca.
Don't put yourself down for being Polish. One of my favorite people is Polish.
Yeah.
You.
The Burt Reynolds version is on Blu-ray in America if you want it, but it certainly won't be cluttering up my DVD shelf. So that about wraps up this video. I don't normally say like, share and subscribe at the end of my videos as I find it kind of patronising. But if you like this video, do come back. I'm Scott Kingsnorth and I'm making a movie.